Hi everyone, this is a little movement session I've put together for you to get you moving after a little break that we've had. So mainly focusing on hips, upper back, bit of rotation of the spine, movement in all directions, and just freeing up the lower back by releasing some of the hips that can get a bit tight from sitting around all Christmas. So let's get started. We're going to start on the mat. I've got no equipment except for a small hand towel, so it can be done anywhere. If you've got an overball or spiky balls or a half roller, perfectly fine to use those too. But I'm just using the hand towel to make it easy for anyone who hasn't got the equipment. So let's get started. We're going to start on the mat, lying down in neutral, and we're going to have the feet a little bit wider than the hip width apart. Find the neutral spine there, relax the shoulders, arms relaxed by your side. And we're going to just do a little knee roll across and back to center, and another knee roll across, just freeing up the hips, keeping the pelvis nice and steady so that we can isolate the hip joint to begin with. Just letting the legs be really heavy, relaxed, allowing that inward rotation on that top leg. And then if you want to go a little bit bigger now, we can let the pelvis rock a bit more. So go as far as you can with the legs, and then let the side of the pelvis peel off. So you get a nice stretch down the top leg on the front of the hip there. And then bring the pelvis back, and then the knees. And then the knees go across, let the pelvis move, so you get that nice stretch again down the hip, and then bring the pelvis back, rock the legs back. A couple more each side, just to stretch it out a little bit. Go to where it feels comfortable and natural for you. And then leveling up the hips, we're going to take some zigzag legs. So the knees roll in opposite directions. Knees roll apart, the legs slide away. Legs roll in, drag the heels back. So you're doing a circular movement with the thigh bone, but in opposite directions to each other. Let gravity take the legs, so there's no holding on in the hips. It's all very relaxed in the hips, the legs and feet are floppy. And then we'll reverse that, so we roll inwards with the legs, roll out, drag back in. So the feet are not touching, the feet are quite separate, and the legs are moving independently. Nice and slidey, so I've got my feet on the slippery floor, if you can find a place to slide. And then we're going to take a glute stretch here, so coming back to more hip width parallel, I'm going to take the left leg across. So you've got that top leg is turned out. You're going to try and maintain your neutral spine. Try not to let the spine collapse into the floor, but almost stick your tail out slightly as you bring the leg in. Now you may not be able to bring the leg in. That might be enough of a stretch to keep the foot on the floor, and just allow that leg to relax and rotate outwards. If that feels movable, then you could bring the underneath leg in towards you and hold around the thigh. If you can't quite reach, you could grab your towel, wrap it around the leg, and hold it there as well to lengthen your arms. But aim to keep that lumbar curve if you can. And that may be enough. You may want to just draw it in and out and not hold it. If you want to hold it and feel that nice stretch there, you could hold it for a few seconds. And then you could roll it from side to side, so feeling that nice kind of shift across, but still have the feeling of sticking your tail out. So you get a deep stretch on the glutes there. You may even feel an inner thigh stretch. And then coming back down, we'll swap legs. Take your time. It may be that you want to just settle there with the leg turned out for a moment. Let the leg get comfortable and start to relax in that position. You may want to do the rocking with the foot down to start with. Once that's freed up a little bit, then you could work towards bringing it in, but try not to let the back collapse each time. You can let this leg off the floor, let the heel drop down towards your bum. So it's nice and floppy, and just rocking if that feels okay. So finding a place where you get a stretch and you feel that's kind of easing into that stretch gently. Okay, and then taking the leg back down, we're going to imprint the spine. So we're going from the neutral lumbar curve to a flattened back, so imprinting the spine, lengthening the lumbar, and then releasing again. Imprinting, lengthening, and you'll feel the front ribs and the tummy drop down, and then release back up, back to neutral again. So feeling that sort of weight on the ribs as well as the tummy as the spine imprints downwards. And release, and imprint, and release. And that's going to feed into your spine curls. So we're going to imprint the spine and then keep curling, thinking pubic bone to nose as we curl. Lengthening the front of the thigh, stretching out the front of the hips. Lifting the hips but dropping the front ribs down. And then breathing in. As you breathe out, soften the neck, the chest, the rib cage drops down into the floor. Imprint the spine again, and then find your way back into neutral. Ready to go again. So we're using your out breath to curl. Imprint. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out to roll back down, softening the neck and the shoulders, the chest, the ribs. Imprint the spine, back to neutral again. And again, using the breath, breathing out. And in. And out. And in. One more like that, breathing out. And in. And out. And in. Now we're going to add in some ribcage closure arms. So we're going to spine curl up, breathing out. As you breathe in, float the arms over the top. Breathe out, roll back down, the arms start to return. Breathing in to finish. And again, breathing out to curl. And in. Arms over, and out to roll back down, and in. All the while keeping the legs parallel, lifting the hips but dropping the ribcage down. Breath in, breath out, and in. We'll do just simple arm circles here, but we're going to take our towel now to take us into a little bit of an extended spine. So the hand towel is rolled up in a little roll shape. I'm going to place it across between the shoulder blades, so not too high, but also not in the lumbar spine. So it's somewhere in the middle of the upper back. And you're going to rest your head down on the floor. So it feels like the chest is open, the upper chest is open and lifted off the floor. We're going to take the arms up and over just like before in your ribcage closure and circle them around. And again, breathing in and out. And in. And out. Shoulders relax down and in. And out. We're going to then add a little curl up here. So we'll stretch the legs out. We circle the arms around. As they come around the outside, chin to chest, curl as though you're hugging a big ball. And then you're going to let that ball go and float away. Circle around. Breathing out, chin to chest. Hug your ball. Breathe in. Float away. And again, curling up. And in to float. And then this time we're going to curl up and keep going. So you're in your, coming up to roll up. You're going into a spine stretch forward. You're going to roll back down over the roll. So this is where you could be using your ball, your over ball, curling up, over the top, and back down. And again, one more, chin to chest, over the legs, rolling back down, let that ball float away. Good, okay, so taking the roll out again, we're going to use the roll to stretch out the hamstrings now, so I'm going to use it lengthened. So unlike a band, it doesn't give, so it will give you a bit more of a stretch, but just go to where it feels comfortable for you. So it may not be a full stretch of the leg. Also be aware of your spine, make sure your spine is not going to collapse into the mat, or the knees, the legs aren't lifting off the floor. So keep the spine, the pelvis neutral, and the spine in its neutral curve wherever you can. I'm going to put the towel underneath the foot. And also, again, be aware of any hiking of the hips. So drop that hip down away from the armpit and try and keep it level with the opposite hip. And then from here, we're going to stretch out the knee without letting the spine and pelvis respond. So we're keeping those nice and stable. Stretching in and out. Now, it may be that you only half stretch the leg, you may not fully stretch the leg. Just work towards whatever feels a stretch for you, an active stretch. Shoulders are down. And we'll do about 6 of those. And then I'll take the towel into the opposite hand to the foot. So I've got my left leg up. I'm holding the towel in my right hand. The other arm can be out to the side for balance. I'm going to carry the leg across for a stretch there. Just keep it nice and small and controlled. Make sure you can bring the leg back easily so don't go too far. And we can take it into the other hand and take it away from the body. Again, it doesn't need to be too big at this stage, just keep it in a controlled range of movement. Keeping the leg as stretched as you can. And then back. Changing legs. Again, check your neutral spine. Can you maintain that while you're bending and stretching the other leg? Work towards a straightened leg, but it doesn't have to be fully straight. Focus more on the control of the spine. So 6 of those hamstring stretches. And then holding the towel in the opposite hand to the leg, carrying it across the body for a small stretch. And back. And across. And back, and across, and back, and then away from the body, using the arm for balance, out to the side, counterbalancing the leg, 2, keeping the other leg nice and stretched as well. That will help to stabilize the body as well. And then bend the knee in and relax the leg back down. Okay, so we'll take some series of 5 exercises with a small break in between each set. So starting with the knees bent, we're going to bring the knees up into a double knee fold, Feet together, knees slightly apart. Put your neutral spine there. I'm going to curl up just to bring the hands to the sides of the shins and stay in that lifted chest. You're going to stretch one leg away, draw the other leg in towards the chest. And then we change. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring the feet in, lower the head back down. Take a breath in. On the out breath, we're going to curl up again to the same start position for your double leg stretch. We're going to stretch the arms away and the legs away. Circle the arms, pull the knees back in. And 2, breath in and out. In and out. In and out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Rest the head back down, take a breather. And out. We're going to go straight to your scissors. So we're going to curl up, stretch the legs in that lifted chest. Drawing one leg in towards you, the other leg away. And 2. And 3. Focus more on the leg coming towards you. 4. And 5. Keep lifting the chest. 6. And 7. 8. 9. And 10. Bend the knees in, lower the head back down. Take a breath. And out. Hands behind the head. On the next out breath, we're going to curl up. Ready for your crisscross. So elbow towards the knee, opposite arm to leg. And 2. 3, keeping the hips square. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Draw the knees in, lower back down. Take a breather. Our last set is going to be either double toe taps or double leg lowers, depending on how your back feels. So I'll start off with the double toe taps and I'll work towards the double leg lowers in between. You can stick with what works for you. So we're going to curl up and we're going to toe tap away. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can either carry on with those or you can do the straight leg version for 1. Keep the curl up. 2, 3, lift the chest rather than pulling on the head. 4, and 5. Well done. Bend the knees in, lower back down. Relax the tummy. Good work. Okay. So we're coming up now onto a 4-point kneeling position. And we will start with just some simple hip hinges. So we're going to keep the spine in neutral, pelvis neutral, controlled, knees below hips, hands below shoulders. We're going to hinge back, but keep the tail sticking out. So think wide sit bones here. Now you may want to step your hands forward a bit more so you get a deeper stretch there, because we're going to carry the weight forward over the hands a bit more. So it's like as though you're going into a child's pose, but not quite, because you're not tucking your tail, you're keeping your tail sticking out. Then we're going to shift forward and drop the hips forward. So you really stretch out the front of the legs. You may feel your glutes engaged, back to the legs engaged to send your hips forward. And then you're going to hinge back again, tail out, and then hinge forward. Press the hips, hinge back, wide sit bones. Press the hips forward, hinge back, hinge forward, and back. So you're really feeling the backs of the legs firing up here as you press the hips forward. And back, backs of the legs. And back, good. Okay, bring the hands just below the shoulders again. We're going to shift from side to side. So we're hinging across to one side. Take the whole body with you, not just the hips. and the whole body goes to the other side. So it really feels like you might get a deep stretch on that inner thigh. So as I'm shifting to the right, my left inner thigh is getting a stretch. It's almost actively pushing into the floor. And then shift to the left, and my right thigh is getting a stretch from the inner thigh, and we're actively pushing that knee into the floor and away. And then shift and shift. And one more each side. And back. And I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see. We're going to go into a cat. So we're going to just do a simple cat. Make sure your feet aren't touching. You've got your space between your knees and your feet. We're going to spine curl from the bottom through to the head, looking into the tummy. And then release head and tail together. And again, curling under. Really feel a deep stretch in that lumbar spine. So you're working really hard in the lower part of the body to kind of curl the pelvis under and then back out to neutral. Now this time we're going to spine curl into that cat position. Now work to maintain that curl of the tail, and you're going to sit back, but don't release the tail. Keep tucking, tucking, tucking. And then when you just get to the bottom, you're going to extend the spine, stick your bottom out, release, shift forward again. So we curl under, look into the tummy. Now keep looking at your tummy as you sit back, keep curling. Then release the hips back to neutral, and then shift forward. One more, curling under, looking in, keep looking in as you shift back, and then release the spine. Actually, we'll do one more of those, so it gives you a nice stretch across the back ribs as well. So as much as you're working hard in the pelvis, you're widening the back ribs at the same time. Breathing into the back ribs, and then release, and back to neutral. Okay, we're now going to tuck the toes under for a downward facing dog. So we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, drop the heels down, drop the chest, and really stick the tail out as much as you can. Feel stretch probably in the back of the legs and hamstrings, calves. Keep sticking the tail out as much as you can. You can rise up and down if you want to. Probably feels better to keep moving rather than holding. Just keep moving those calves up and down with the heels. Maybe even a walking action. Drop one heel and then the other. And heel. All the while keeping the tail sticking out. And then we're going to rise up onto the toes, tuck the tail, look in, bend the knees, hand, your weight's over the hands now, light on the knees, back to neutral. So we're going to hover now. So you're going to hover the knees off. Now that might be enough. For some people it might be just enough to hover and hold for a few seconds and lower back down and maintain that neutral position. It's very good for the deep core muscles stabilizing there. Try not to overwork those superficial muscles. So think pelvic floor, wide sit bones. Now if you're comfortable in this position and you can control it and hold it, we're going to do a little pelvic tuck, like a cat and cow. So we're doing cat-cow with hovering knees, which is kind of quite challenging if you struggle to just do the hover in the first place. So don't attempt this if you're still getting to grips with the hover. And it may be that you only want to do 1 or 2 or 3 of these. Just go to where you feel you can control everything comfortably and then lower back down and release. Okay, we'll go straight to your threading the needle. So we're going to do this, you've obviously always got your 2-knee version, and we're going to reverse the twist as well. If you want a little bit more challenge, we're going to take the left leg out, we're going to thread the right arm through. So I've got my foot on the floor, but it's very light. I could lift it if I wanted to. There's no weight on that back toe. So the weight is all forward over the front arm, turning the palm up, going to bend the left elbow, turn the head, twist the upper spine. Now push away with that left arm so it's fully stretched. Turn the shoulders, elbow to ceiling, and then finally extend the elbow. So we're in a twisted position. And then the arm goes through again, bend the elbow, bend the supporting arm, twist, push the floor away to fully stretched, open up the chest. Still very light on that back toe, there's not really any weight on it at all. I could lift it if I wanted to. And twist. Coming back down with the house, swap legs to go the other way. So always start off very active, feel the active spine and the back of the neck pressing upwards, long neck, bend the right elbow, twist, and press the floor away, rotate to the ceiling. And again, thread the arm through, weight is forward over that arm, and twist, and one more, through, and twist. We'll go back to the other side. So change legs again, but we're going to the reverse twist. So we're going away from the outstretched leg. So I'm going up with my right arm to the ceiling, my left leg is behind me. And we're going to stay up and twist a little bit further, and a little bit further. I've got a little bit more weight on that back foot now, but I'm still forward over the hands. So just opening up the front of the chest for about 3 or 4 of those. Coming back down, change legs. So I've got my right leg behind, and I'm twisting to the left. My left arm is up, and I'm twisting just that little bit more, and release. And a little bit more, and release. And turning from the spine and the shoulders, not so much the arm. And the underneath arm is working quite hard as well to encourage that twist. Coming back, and then just sit back and stretch for a moment in child's pose. Okay, coming down into prone position. Into your tummy. We'll do some dart variations here. And you could, if you wanted to, use your towel, if you prefer, to have something to hold on to. So you can open it up, use it in its sort of lengthened shape. I'm going to have my heels together. If that's no good for your lower back, you may want to have your feet wider for this. That's perfectly fine, turned out. But if you can have the heels together, connect the back of the back of the legs and the heels. So thinking about dart, we have the hands tucked under, so the palms are facing up, the backs of the hands are on the floor, and you gripped if you're using a towel, you've gripped it with your thumbs. If not, they're just resting back to the hands on the floor. And then you can let your heels drop apart as well, and your toes touch. So then as we extend the spine, the upper spine, we turn the arms, turn the legs, connect the heels. We're going to let the legs come off slightly as well. So they're stretched so hard that they naturally want to float up, but not so much so that it goes into the lower back. So just stretch the legs away from you. Think length rather than height. And then we're going to unrotate the arms, unrotate the legs, release back down. So we're relaxed in between. And then we turn the arms, wrapping the towel around the thumbs, heels together, stretch the legs so hard they float. And then unrotate the arms and legs again. And then we turn and breathe in. And breathe out. And in. And out. And in. And that towel's giving you a nice openness across the shoulders and the chest, nice rotation in the upper arms. And release back down. I'm going to lose the towel. If you're using the towel, you won't need it now. We're going to go back to that position. We're going to come up into our dart. Turn the arms and legs, hold. We're going to float one arm around the outside, bring it back. Float the other arm around the outside, bring it back. If you want to release there, you can, or you can then do 2 arms. And back, and then release. So decide whether you want to stay up for longer or just do single arms. You're going to lift, rotate, squeeze the legs, float one arm, and back. Other arm, trying to keep the body really still and steady. Then 2 arms, and back, and lower back down. And again, lift and turn, connect the legs, heels, stretch the legs as you float the arms. The more you stretch those legs, the more stable you'll feel through the spine. And float, and release back down. Well done. Okay, and then we'll just keep the body down for this. Have the legs parallel, and we're going to bend the right knee. We're then going to lift the thigh bone off but drop the pelvis down into the floor. All 3 bones of the pelvis dropping down. Then stretch the leg, lower it back down. Changing legs each time. Bend the left knee, float the thigh bone off, but think about pressing the pelvis down. Stretch the knee, lower the leg. And again, bend the right knee. Drop the pelvis into the floor. You may feel slight pressure of the pubic bone downwards as you lift the leg. Stretch the knee, lower the leg. Left leg bends, pelvis drops down, stretch the knee and lower. One more each side. Bend the knee, float the leg, drop the pelvis down, stretch and lower. And bend, and float, stretch, and lower. And then coming back to stretch out the lumbar spine. Okay. So we're coming back to your sideways one, sitting in a Z sit. A mermaid position. So you've got one leg forward, one leg behind or a zigzag, a Z sit if you like. And we're going to have the hand in line with your hip there, slightly away from you, not directly underneath. And we're going to lift up the hips into a side stretch over. Think about drawing the shoulder blade down away from the, or the shoulder down away from the ear. So as you lift the hips, the shoulder is away from the ear on that side. And you've got that sense of stretch in the opposite leg. So this top leg is going to be pressing forward. So you get a deep stretch in the front of the thigh and the hip. And again, 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. Okay, staying on this side, we're going straight into side lying legs. So we're going to take the support on the forearm for this. Stretch out both legs, slightly in front of the body here. If you feel more stable with the underneath leg bent, you could do it here. It probably feels a bit more stable perhaps. Or you can have them slightly in front, stretched out. So always focus on this shoulder. Make sure this shoulder's not kind of creeping up towards the ear and collapsing on this underside. So lifting on the support on the underneath side, shoulder back and down, supporting the weight of the body. And then from here we're going to lift the leg in line with the hip, just hovering off the underneath leg. And we're going to flex the foot as it comes forward, point the foot as it goes back. And we're trying to keep the body and the pelvis as steady as you can. So you could either have your hand on your hip, you could have the hand behind the head, and have that sense of opposition. So the head is reaching, crown of the head is reaching away from the body, and the elbow is lifting up towards the ceiling. We're doing 5 of those movements. Leg presses back, the hips press forward. We're going to lift and lower for 1, 2, 3. Make sure this side isn't dropping. And we'll do 5 circles backwards behind the body. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll go the other way, behind. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well done. Bend the knees. Come around to the other side. Back to your Z sit. And ready for that hip stretch. So we're stretching. I'm on my, going over to the right. My left hip is going to press forward into a nice stretch. And back down with control. Shoulder down, away from the ear. Lifting up. And down. And 3. And down. And 4. Slowly down. And 5. Slowly down. And last one, 6. Slowly down. Ready to come into your sideline position. Whichever one you chose before, keep it the same. Shoulder down, lift on that supporting side, legs slightly forward. We're going to hover the foot off. We're going to flex the foot, carry it forward. Point to send the leg back. And forward and back. And then the hand can be wherever you chose to put it before. 3 and back. 4 and back. 5 and back. And we're going to lift and lower for 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And little circles behind the body. 2, nice and steady. 3, 4 and 5. And the reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Bend the knees in, well done. Coming over into your tummy again, we're going to get into a position where you've tucked your toes, ready for a press up. So your hands are by your shoulders, elbows pointing backwards. If you have your arms, have your hands actually below your shoulder area. So when you push up, you can really push from where your ribs are. So lifting the ribs off the floor as you push the floor away and come up into your press up position. We're then going to lift the hips up into downward dog. Stretch it out, walk the hands back towards the feet. Drop the head. You can soften the knees if you need to here as well. So you drop the tail to the floor, rolling back up. Float the arms up, breathe in. Breathe out, roll back down. Head, neck, shoulders relax, spine, bone by bone. When you reach the floor, if you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. Walk your way out to your press up position. Find a good stable plank. Lower the body down. Ready to go again, pushing up. Walk, sit back to your downward dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Drop the head, tail to the floor. Restack the spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rolling back down, bone by bone. And I'm going to walk back to your press up position. We're going to do 3 press ups there. Long neck, active spine, head reaching away from the rest of the body. We're going to bend the elbows for 1, just 3, 2, and 3. And then lower yourself all the way down, ready to push back into a stretch there. Relaxing the arms again. And then rolling back up to here, coming up onto your knees into high kneeling. Have the leg, I've got my right leg out to the side here. We're going to bend the knee, hands on the hips, and we're just going to hinge into that hip. So it's a nice deep lunge stretch. Keeping the knee back, so the weight through all of those toes, hinging forward and back, keeping the neutral spine as well, so there's no rounding of the back. Okay, and then we're going to hinge forward, reach the arm forward, the opposite arm. So I've got my right leg, left arm forward. Sweep the arm down, over the top, flex the foot to a side bend. And then we reach forward again, and then hinge over into your side bend. And reach forward, and hinge, and 4, and side bend, and 5, last one, flexing that foot as well. Let's swap over. So start with just a simple lunge and hinge at the hip, hinge and press back, and 2, and back, and 3, and back, and 4, and 5. And then we're going to reach the opposite arm forward. So reach forward, sweep it down, up and over into your side bend, flex the foot, and sweep forward, side flex over. So you're getting that nice banana shape of the body, really stretching down that side of the body. 4, and 5. Well done. Okay. And then coming up to standing, you can stand on your hard floor or your mat if you want a little bit more challenge. We're going to start with the feet together. So parallel feet, spread the toes, just lifting all the toes up and then spreading them back down onto the floor. And again, lifting all the toes up, spreading them back down, and one more, lifting them up and spread down. Now when you can really feel those toes on the floor and all the underside, the metatarsals pressing into the floor, you're going to raise the heels off. So feeling that spread of the toes, that sense of lift through the center of the body. Imagine you have a thread running through the center of the body and out through the crown of the head, drawing you upwards with minimal effort. And again, lifting up, down, and up, and down. We're going to turn the feet out. So you've got the toes out, but the heels are connected. And the turn out comes from the top of the thigh, not just from the ankle. So only place your feet in the same alignment as your hips. Then from there, keep the knees straight. You're going to lift up, rise up, lower back down, fully stretch those knees. Now, if you have slightly hyperextending knees, you might need to have a little space between your heels so that you can still fully stretch your knees when you're coming all the way down. So work out where you need to put your feet to be able to still fully stretch your knees, and lower back down with resistance, and rise up, slowly down, and up, and down. Then switch back to parallel with a space. Again, rising up, slowly down, and up, slowly down, and up, slowly down. This time we're going to rise up, stay up with the heels, bend the knees. Imagine you have a wall behind you, you're sliding down the wall, nicely balanced, and then lower the heels down, stretch the knees, rising up again. Slide down your imaginary wall, parallel legs, lower the heels, stretch the knees, and again rise up, slide down, and lower, and back. And of course we're keeping that neutral spine, rising up, sliding down the wall, lower the heels, stretch the knees. Let's do that with the feet turned out, again with the heels connected, or slightly apart if you need. So we're rising up, slide down your wall, keep the heels lifted, lower the heels, stretch the knees, and rise, and bend, and lower, and stretch, and rise, and bend, lift the heels, lower the heels, and stretch, last one, and bend, and lower, and stretch. So let's just, that last one we're going to reverse. You're going to bend the knees, lift the heels, stretch up tall, lower with straight legs, and bend, and lift, and stretch, and lower, Last one. And lift and stretch and lower. And then just relax the legs, give your legs a shake. Give the arms a shake. And I'm going to stand sideways, just so you can see from the side. I'm going to do a standing roll down, so let your head drop forward first. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck. Let the shoulders roll. The arms are hanging, the head is heavy. Go to wherever feels good for you. You're then going to bend your knees, place your hands on your thighs, stick your chest out, stick your bottom out, so you're now in a squat. There, fully in a squat, and then you just stand up from there. Ready to go again. You're going to roll down, let the head go, the arms hang. Go to wherever you come to a natural stop, keep the rounded back. You're then going to bend your knees, place your hands on your thighs, push your chest away, extend the spine, bottom out, stand up. And one more, rolling down, bend the knees, hands on thighs, extend the spine, fully extended, push up. Well done. We'll just take a side stretch over, and back, and over, and back, and well done.